Hi everyone, and welcome to Judah Studios, where we talk about comic books and superhero lore of the African diaspora. So today, we're going to do an origin video based on one of the founding members and the face of this comic book universe. And yes, today we are going to talk about... here he is, Heru. So as you can tell, this is Heru right here. This is the first character that I published for like years ago. It's been over 10 years ago that that I introduced him, and he's like one of the founding fathers, if that makes sense, of this universe since I started out with him. So yeah, it was really successful. A limited amount of people know who he is since it's not that big as Marvel and DC, but all that matters is that people know who he is and know where he's coming from. So yeah, anyways, so in this video we're going to talk about the origins of like how he started and how he became who he is. And this series is going to be continuing on the next chapter, so it's going to be a quick like introduction, and then we just talk about the characters and the build-ups, side characters, the villains, other heroes, and etc. So yeah, as you can tell, there's heroes here, and then this is him. So yeah, let's get started. So the Origins of Heru started. Oh yeah, before I get started, I'm all over the place. As you can tell, the reason why there's a lot of like shuttering and mumbling. The mumbling is because that this is winged. This is not scripted. So everything I'm just saying it just randomly. I'm freestyling, just styling, anything you want to call it. So before I actually get started, I just want to get a disclaimer notice. So anyway, let's actually get started now. So the Origins of Heru started in issue 1, where it talked about the origins of the universe, or aka the whole multiverse, where everything started. Okay, so basically we are talking about like dark energy, dark matter. Nothing else was there, and a keynote in the later of the universe, like as the story develops, that's actually melanin, and we'll talk about how that is melanin afterwards. So we'll just talk about how the comic is. So basically, it was just darkness, everything was black, like it was just black, literally, because if you look in the sky, space is really dark. Anyway, that. So yeah, there was nothing per se. You couldn't see anything. Like you couldn't see anything. There was nothing moving. But then one thing happened where a gravitational pull of a magnetic field happened and occurred. So basically, it was dark energy, dark matter. They would just like intertwine with each other with a magnetic pull, and then they compressed so much, like the density was so much, it created the Big Bang as we all know it. However, in this universe, that Big Bang is actually the first atom ever created in the whole multiverse in this story. So like I said, this is not just a origin story of just this character. We're talking about how the whole Judah universe started from the beginning, and it starts in this comic book series. So yeah, basically as that happened, there was this atom called Atom. It didn't have a gender. It wasn't a boy, it wasn't a girl, it wasn't male, female. It was just a thing there. It was just a round sphere object that was shaped like an atom. Because remember, it's an atom. It's the first one ever in existence. The first materialized substance that ever been created in ever. Okay? So basically, to make a long story short, Atom was just curious, and it wondered like what its purpose was in life and what it could do, and basically it just made a lot of stuff. So it's think about like making something that looked like it, but instead of like making it exactly like it, because there can't be something exactly how that is, like there's something that can't be just like Atom. So when it created something, it basically created another material, and that material was a star, aka that was a sun. That's our sun, the solar system, where the Earth and the whole thing started. So yeah, so basically it created the sun, and that sun, as we know in Kemetic mythology, because that's what it's based on, Egyptian stuff, it's called Ra. And it created Ra, and then it realized that it could create more things than just a star. So it basically just went around creating other things like planets and stars and solar systems, planets. Well, I already said that. Moons, galaxies, nebulas, different dimensions, realms. I said he, well, like I said, it's really gendered, so I can say she. So she, it just created like all these other things. It just create different spaces in time and space, basically. It created like everything. That's how powerful this entity is since it's the first in existence. And yeah, so basically, like I said, to make a long story short, so it created all that, and basically it started with the first elders. The elders are the ones that are Heru's great grandparents. They are the first humans, and they were learning about how to create themselves. So basically, Atom just let them do what they wanted to do, and let's see how smart these people were and how these humans could cope by themselves without it. So basically, these humans were like, okay, our father or our mother's gone, like our creator's not here, so we're trying to develop this world for ourselves. So basically, they're like the gods of like their planet, so they have a lot of power, not as powerful, and have a lot of abilities like Atom, but they're extremely powerful. There, they can warp reality, and they can like change existence as a whole. So they're really powerful in their own rights. So as they did that, they just create these other humans, and then they reproduce, and they create animals, and they create this and that. And then if you fast forward it again, we go into the origins of like how Heru became to be. So let's go into the four children of I forgot what they were called. Is it Geb or Sek, something like that? It was like someone with well, basically, it was just two parents, right? And they had four children. They had Asar, Aset, they had Memphis, I think, and then they had, Seth. And Seth was the only person, the only child to have an animal head. Not even the parents had it, but for some reason he ended up having it, and he had a deformity, so he like came out albino and really, really light skin. Like he didn't have no pigmentation or melanin whatsoever, and he had an ant-eater head. So obviously he was jealous of Asar because he was another son and he was prettier, handsomer than he was, and then he got upset because he got all the girls, and then he ended up killing him because he was upset. So he dismembered him, and then he cut him up to different pieces. And by the way, I know I'm rushing all over the thing. It's not actually how it went, but I'm putting up the key points of how the story went. So yeah, basically he just cut him up to different pieces, put him in 40 different places of Kemet, what we call Egypt now, and they found every piece. Asar, who is basically their wife, because there was a lot of humans then, so they reproduced with each other like siblings. Yes, it involves in incest, but then again, that depends on different records and evidence of incest. Anyway, so basically as they do that, she couldn't find his private part, so they couldn't find the penis, they couldn't find the testicle, so that was missing. They said it was ate by a catfish for some reason. So basically she had to make her artificial private part, like a dildo, and it was really gold, and that was the only way she can reproduce. And she reproduced as a bird. Yeah, I know there's a lot of trippy things. Most of my stuff I based well on sources, not really from original ideas. But then again, it's still a good story for a 10 or a 9-year-old at the time. Well, I'm way older now, but you get where I'm coming from. Yeah, so basically she did that, blah, blah, blah. So couple months, he gave birth to this character here, Heru, and and he met his father, but not physically, spiritually, in a metaphysical realm, because his dad's dead and they couldn't meet with him, so they mummified him. And yeah, so Heru was growing up in life, and then he met this mysterious figure, and not realized this figure was the one that killed his father. And then as he was growing up to the age like 28 now to 33, because okay, I'm 18 in it, soon turn no, I'm turning, wait, I'm 19, like turning, what am I talking about? So basically, I'm just comparing the ages to make sure it actually makes sense with the whole atmosphere of what's going on. So basically, yeah, that's it. So Heru basically growing up realized that, I want to avenge my father, blah, 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 and not realize that he lost the fight with his uncle because, he was quite arrogant of the fact per se. Like, he wasn't wise and humble as he was, because this was literally when he was just like 28 or 33. This was when he was not like immortalized, like millions, hundreds of thousands of years old. This was him like normal human age, so he didn't have a lot like of lesson at the time. So yeah, he got defeated easily, and then he became immortalized. Like, he lost his healing factor, all his superhuman abilities and his powers, and then he had to go on this adventure with this young boy who was a royal at the time, who also witnessed him getting defeated. And then he just went on following him around because he had nothing better to do and to prove his father's worthiness per se. So basically these two go on an adventure, Then they end up meeting up with Anubis, aka Ampu. Well, he's called Ampu, but Anubis by Western cultures of Europeanization. So yeah, that was about it. And basically, these three went on an adventure, and then, like I said, the story meets them along the way. So it develops over time. And basically, they were fighting around the way, fight a lot of monsters. Some of them were put by Seth himself, and sometimes they were just natural monsters that were just there. And like Seth didn't even need to put it; they were just there for some reason. And basically, they defeat all of them. Blah blah blah. And then he learns along the way, so he gets wiser and he gets more knowledge, wisdom, not just by his father. He also gets it by Tahuti. He gets it by Mahat, etc., etc. Like I said, there's a lot of character depth to this. Oh yeah, and by the way, he had a love interest, so he has a girlfriend, soon turn fiance, soon turn wife, soon turn lover. Wait, that came before the other two, three. Anyway, so yeah, basically defeat all of them, and he claimed his right to the throne because he went to fight Seth one more time to prove himself. And basically, he actually defeats Seth. He lost an eye in the process. Yeah, he lost his eye, but then for some reason, Seth lost his testicle, his left testicle, for some reason, I don't know. But then again, yeah. So basically, it was like eye for eye, no pun intended. If that makes sense. Anyway, so basically, Heru basically just beat him up, and then he spared his life, but then he actually crucified him, and then buried him in some kind of black. Also, it's like concrete, so he buried him in concrete, so he can't be bad again. I mean, he is still bad, like he can't do bad things anymore. And yeah, so Heru becomes king again. He has his wife and etc. He becomes king, and then he brings his prince back to his family again, so be royal. And then yeah, the rest is history. So that was literally the whole 8 issues slash each of those 8 issues have 28 pages of Heru, and it was not explained properly because this was coming out of all my head, and plus I'm saying it really fast, and I'm saying it, yeah, I'm actually just saying it really fast, so I bet you didn't catch anything. Like I said, I'm not like one of the best, if not the best. I'm not the best at explaining, like I'm not comics explainer or comic historian. I'm not like on that part because I'm creating comic books. I'm not reading other people's comic books. This is my whole comic book. This is my whole comic book universe that I'm talking about here. So anyway, I'm glad you enjoyed that. And like I said, there will be a proper review when I have the equipment and I have the money, the budget, and the actual people who can dissect this comic book properly. But you do get now who Heru is and what he stands for. So yeah, I'm glad you all enjoyed this video. And yeah, I will do one with all the other characters before a quick examination of it. So yeah, this was the origins of Heru and who he was, and this is all the stuff that he did. He's a rock star, and we'll talk about other things because it does not just end in 8 issues, it's just continuation. The 8 issues were just origins, it wasn't like ending there. So anyway, yeah, that's it for Judah Studios. I'm glad you liked the video, hope you love it. So like, comment, share, subscribe, and will you check me out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and yeah, Snapchat, and that's about it actually. And I'm all over social media, I'm all over there. So yeah, thank you for watching the video, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and yeah, peace out, I guess. Rastafari. Let's look at him one more time.